Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you all guys will be fine. Today in this video, I'm going to teach you the most important library in a Python, that is Numpy, and I will teach you each and every function of this library from the scratch that even a beginner can understand it easily. So let's just get to work. Before we move further, let me just explain the Numpy, that what is Numpy. So actually Numpy is an open source library that is used for handling large amount of numerical data, and it is actually used for a task that involves a lot of computational analysis and a lot of numerics and numbers, like in the science and engineering, like in the AI, data science, etc. And it has numerous functions that can be used in order to do the mathematical operations on matrices, arrays, etc. And you will learn all of that in this video. So let's go. First of all, you need to import the NumPy library. If you don't have NumPy library, you just have to do like pip install NumPy. Okay, and just run it. And it's saying that the requirement already satisfied. So I have already installed NumPy. If you didn't install it, so you will install it. Okay. Then you have to import this NumPy as NP. NP is actually the notation because I cannot write NumPy each and every time. So I just created the shortcut that as NP. Okay. Now let me just write my first array, like array equals NP dot array, and I will provide brackets 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what is an array? Array is actually a structure that is used for storing and retrieving data. You can also imagine the array is just like a grid of structure in a space, and each cell containing an individual element or number. So this is a simple structure. For example, 1, 3, and 4 is the numbers that is stored in that array. Okay. Okay, so let's understand the structure. The ARR is short for array, and it is the name of the variable, and this is the assignment operator. And NP is actually the numpy, okay, and dot operator, and then I have just called the function, that is array. It is just storing each uh, elements as an array form. Okay, let me just give you the fundamentals of the array. For example, you just want to retrieve the data from the array, so you just like array, and you just pass the index of that number. Actually, the array indexing starts from 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so this is the location of these numbers. If I just want to say 0, so now it is retrieving 1. Why? This is the location first. The first location is 1. 2, it is retrieving 4 because 0, 1, and 2. So this is retrieving 4. Okay. Then we have the property of mutability. So array is just like a list, and lists are also mutable. So you can also say like so as you can see, the 1 is replaced with 67. Then we want to discuss the array attributes. The first one is the n dimension, the function n dimension. So actually the n dimension checks that how many dimensions of that array is. For example, if I say n array n dimension, and it will say one dimension, it is just a one dimension. If I have a two-dimensional array, for example, this is a two-dimensional array, as you can see there are rows and this is the columns, and you can also just say like this is a matrix. So if I just want to say like a 2 dot n dimension, so you will see that it is a two-dimensional array. Then another function is the shape. You just want to say that what shape is that, that how many rows are there and how many columns are there in that array. For example, if you just want to put it for the first dimensional array, so a dot shape, it will say 3. The comma over here is just defining that this is a one dimensional array because it is just differentiating it from the scalar. If there were no comma and you just print the shape and there were no comma, so it will be like a scalar. If I print it for the two-dimensional, a 2 dot shape, so you can see that it is saying 3, 4. What it is saying that it is having 3 rows and 4 columns. Okay, simple. Then we have the size function. So actually the size function tells you that how many elements are present in that array. For example, if I just want to say like for the first array, which is a one dimensional, if I say array dot size, it is printing that 3. Why? Because this array is having 3. If I print it for this array, so you will see that it is just saying a2 dot a2 dot, it just say 12. Now you want to just create a simple array. You want to create that array by itself. So how would you create an array? A function called zeros. For example, you want to just create a zero array. So you will say that a zero equals np dot zeros, and it will create, for example, how many zeros you want. For example, I just want 8, and print this a zero. So it is creating 8 zeros. Okay, simple. Another function is ones, a ones. For example, you just want to print only ones. So you will say np dot ones. How many ones? For example, I just want to say 7. Okay, and then you want to print it. So it is having 7 ones. Okay, simple. Then we have the empty function. For example, you just want to say like you want to have to create an array that is empty. For example, I just want to say empty equals np dot empty. How many? For example, I just want to say 9, and just print the empty. As you can see that there is nothing. These are not the zeros, but it is just saying that it is empty. Okay, now we have another function called arrange. So arrange is actually creating an array within a specific range of elements. For example, you would just want to say like you just want to have elements from 20 to 30. So how you can do that? You just want to have to, for example, for the range variable, you have to say that np dot arrange, and then you want to have for from 20 to 30. Sorry, and then you just want to print the range. So from 20 to 29, actually the 30 is excluded. Okay, then we have the line space function. Actually, this function is allows you to create an array in a specific range, but the elements should be linearly spaced. What do you mean by that? For example, if I just want to say that line equals np dot, my names are random, my variable names are random, so you can give it every name you want, np dot line space. And okay, so there are three arguments in this. For example, the first one, the first number, the second number, and the line, the number of elements that you want to create. For example, I just want to say from 0 to 10. Okay, this is my range, and then I just want to say I just want to print three elements. Okay, so I just want to have to say 3, and then when I print line, so now it is just printing only three elements, 0, 5, and 10. Okay. And if I just want to say I just want to print four elements. So now it is just dividing it, but it is just only giving you four elements. Okay. Sometimes when you have a random array and you just want to sort them into ascending or descending order. So how would you do that? So we use the function sort for that. And that is, for example, I have an array random equals np dot. As you can see over here, I have just created an array which is random. Okay, and then I've just created I've called the sort function, and that sort function have just ascended this array. Okay, so now you can see that all of this is in an ascending order. Another function is the concatenate. When you have two arrays, for example, one array and second one, and you just want to combine them, so you will use the concatenate function. For example, I just want to combine the line and the random array. Okay, so how would you do that? For example, you just want to say np. For example, I have this random array and this range array, and I will concatenate both of them into each other. Okay, so you will say that np dot concatenate. So you will say range, and another one is the random. So now you can see that the range is this one, this array, and the random is this array. So now both of them are now combined. Now we have another function called the reshape function. When you have a multi-dimensional array and you just want to change the dimensions or the shape of the array, so you can use the reshape. So if I just want to reshape this three-dimensional array, so how will I reshape this array? I will use the function reshape. So I will say n np dot reshape, and then you will have to pass the array, which is a 3. Then you will have to pass the shape, that which shape do you want. So you just like say like 3, the slices should be 3. Okay, the rows should be 3, but the column should be 4. Okay, and now you can see that I have just transformed that rows and columns, and made a change in these numbers. Another most important thing is the slicing and indexing of an array. So how would you do that? For example, if we have an array of range that we have created above. So this is the above array, and now you just want to print like from 20 to only 25. You just want to print this. So starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then you just want to say like from 0 up to 5. And here we go, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So this is just slicing the array into different categories. Okay, another important function is the non-zero function, and this is actually a function where you want to have to just retrieve only the non-zero elements from an array. So for example, I have an array like array is equal to, for example, I have this structure array which is containing the zero elements. Okay, and now I just want that the non-zero elements. Okay, I will say np dot non-zero, and I will just pause the array. And now you can see that this is the indexes of the non-zero elements. For example, the 4 is at the zero index number 1, 0. At 0 place, there is 0. So the 0 is not included over here. Then a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5 is not included because there is 0. And we want the non-zero elements. So these are the indexes of the non-zero elements. Other important functions in these arrays are when you want to create different new arrays from the pre-existing arrays. So how would you do that? For that we have a first function called vstack, in which we have multiple arrays and you just want to print that on vertical basis. Just like, for example, we have these two arrays and we just want to combine these two arrays in order to make another one, but vertically. How would we do that? And here we go, 1 2 3 4 5. This is the one stack and this is another stack, and it is vertically stacked on each other. Then we have another function called the stack horizontal stack. Simple and plot. Now horizontally they are stacked. Okay, one array and assigned. Okay, now how would you do the basics operations on arrays, like the multiplication, addition, division, multiplication, etc. So for example, I have array A. I have two arrays, right? I have these two arrays and I will do the addition, subtraction, multiplication, etc. So print A plus B. And now you have seen that all of them are added. Okay, simple. Now if you just want to say like print A minus B, then you can see that all of them are cancelled out. If you just want to do multiplication, so A multiplied with B, so it is multiplied. Okay, here is the thing. When you just want to multiply an array with a scalar, so now the structure incompatibility will happen because the structure of the array is just like having multiple numbers, but a scalar array is having one number. So how would you do that? And here the broadcasting happens. So actually, broadcast is a mechanism that allows the Numpy to do the mathematical operations on two different types of arrays that are having different types of structures or shapes. For example, I have an array A and its structure is like this. But and I have if I multiply it with 5, okay, A multiply it with 5. Now it is multiplied it with 5. Simple. If I write D equals an array like this, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 5 times 5. And if I multiply it with a, so actually 1 multiplied with 5, 2 multiplied with 5 is 10, 3 multiplied with 5 is 15, 4 multiplied it with 5 is 20, 5 multiplied with 5 is 25. So the result of both of these are the same. We have also other useful mathematical operations like the maximum, the minimum, etc. So we will use that. For example, the maximum, I have an array like D. Okay, so if I just want to print the maximum number over here, so I will just say D dot max. and now it's just printing the 25. If I just say d dot min, so it is just printing the minimum value, that is 5 in this array. Okay, if I just want to print the sum of all of these numbers, so it's just simple. You would just call the function the sum. So you will just say that d dot sum, and it is just printing all of that sum of these elements. Okay, so this was all about the basic introduction of the NumPy and the basic functions in the NumPy. I hope you got it very well and you have learned something new in this video. So this was a beginner's guide about NumPy and all of the important functions in NumPy. And I didn't involve the advanced functions that is involved in NumPy, because the video will become very long, and by the way, it's for beginners. So if you want me to include all of that advanced concepts in NumPy, so just tell me in the comment section below and I will upload another video on NumPy on advanced level. So if you like the video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel in order to be notified for every new video. Thank you and have a nice day.